Good afternoon. Sorry to get away from the Supreme Court. That was pretty exciting this morning. It was really a very, I believe, dignified proceeding. The first half of it, as you probably know, was about standing, and the second half about the merits of the DOMA and is it constitutional or not. The questions that were asked by the justices, I thought, were very evoked information and responses that were, I think, very constructive. This is very, it's very important. It's as big as our Constitution. It's as big as our country itself, because it's personal as every marriage in our country between same-sex parties. I had the privilege of being there with Karen and Amy, Karen's, I'm going to spell her last name for you, G-O-L-I-N-S-K-I, and her wife Amy. Karen is a federal employee, and she has a case at the court about whether her wife Amy can get benefits as the spouse of a federal employee. She was married in that window in California before Prop 8 took away the opportunity to continue the occasions of weddings in California. On the basis of what I heard, the questions of the justices, the response of the participants, I'm very optimistic that DOMA will be struck down. It doesn't seem to have a rational basis, which is one of the criteria, a rational basis, a justification for being, and secondly, probably should say first, the full protection of all people in our country. So equal protection has been a principle that our country was founded on, that our Constitution was written on, and I think on the basis of those two, the debate was going back and forth. Is it about equal protection? Is it about rational basis? I think on either score, the arguments, the debate seemed to favor striking down DOMA, which is very important. The justices made the point on a number of occasions that there are, I think it's probably more than that, but they were saying 1,100, say over 1,000 laws on the books or regulations that relate to marriage that do not give equal protection to people who are married in a same-sex marriage. They use the word homosexual marriage. That's the word that they used. You'll hear the report pretty soon. I guess it comes out like 2 o'clock. Well, not even an hour. But just being in the room, sitting there with Amy and Karen. As I say, this is as big as our country, as big as our Constitution, as big as our being a beacon of equal protection to the world. It's as personal as every family. And to sit there with them, and also you've probably seen Edie Windsor. That's the case. She's the aggrieved party in the case that is coming before the Supreme Court. Well, I don't know if that's the technical term. Maybe the federal government is the aggrieved party if the court strikes down DOMA and they have to pay her back the taxes, over $300,000 that she had to pay in taxes when her spouse died. Because it was a same-sex marriage, her spouse died, and the Internal Revenue Service did not recognize that this was a married couple. But Edie Windsor is a very courageous, brave woman. It was a joy just to see her sitting there in the court, head held high about her marriage and the fight that she's making for other people as well as for herself. And again, to have Amy and Karen, who are going to be touring the Capitol soon, so you may see that happily married couple doing just that. It was pretty thrilling, I have to say.
You represent